We all love elephant ears for those big, gorgeous leaves. But what if I told you you can get the same look for less than $1? Hi guys, it's Lo from Nino and Lo. Let's jump into the video and let me show you how. We start off at the local supermarket. Now, you have to look for either Eddoes or Taro root. They're almost the same, but not quite. This method would even work for dasheen roots as well. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with heat mats. We use them to get our seedlings started. I have one here that I picked up on Amazon. I'm going to use that to try and get my Eddoes and Taro roots to sprout a little bit quicker. To start off, you're going to have a clean container. It could be some old takeout container or anything that you can get a bit of a seal. You can even use some cling wrap, some plastic wrap to give yourself a seal. Put a few tablespoons in the bottom of the container just so you get a little bit of humidity and something where you can get a good seal. And we're just going to let that sit on top of the heat mat with that little bit of water inside of it for a few days. So after 48 hours on the heat mat, we take a look at our container and we have some sprouting action going on. Now you can see the condensation on the inside of the container, and these little guys have started to sprout. Now, you're going to notice that the little tips on the end are elongated. This one is even already started to throw out some roots. So that's what we want to see. We want to see the sprouts and the roots happening. And this will start to root all the way down the top end around that little spike that's coming out. So these are well on their way, just 48 hours on the heat mat. So far, so good. Guys, I'm here with the first batch of taro that I bought from the supermarket, and this is after about 5 days on a heat mat in this container with a little bit of water so it gives it a little bit of humidity, and they all sent out sprouts. All right, there we go. So I am going to plant these ones up. And these here are a second batch. These ones are were labeled Eddoes, but I do believe it's the same thing. So this is my bag of Eddoes from the supermarket. And I had them just in the plastic bag, and they're sitting on a heat mat. So I put a little bit of water in the plastic bag, and they've been here for maybe about 3-4 days. And you see already they are sprouting. Beautiful looking sprouts. Here's another one here. This one starting to come through. I'll probably put it back in the heat. And I'm going to plant these up. This one starting to come through there. I'm going to plant these up and see what they do. So I'm going to give these a little bit more time. I'm going to put them in here and give them a little bit more time so that they get a few more sprouts. These ones I've planted, and see, they all have little growing tips that are starting to come up. Okay, so I'm just gonna pot up these taro root that I got from the supermarket, guys. And as you can see, like I said, I pre-sprouted them, or I got them started. So I'm just gonna pot them up now that they have such a great head start and see how they do. Make sure you plant these in a container that gives enough room for some growth, because it's going to be a couple weeks before we can put these out. Being in a zone 5, it's still too cold for us to put these plants outside. So we have to have them growing under lights. So you pot them up, you give them a bit of water, and you set them aside. Because remember, there's no roots yet, so you can't be watering too much. Now, these plants like humidity once they start growing. So I even have some of them in a bathroom, and they just love it in there. The hot steam from the shower, they love that. And this is about 3 weeks on. They've started putting on leaves. Two of the plants started putting on leaves, and this is exactly where I want these to grow, because I don't want them growing too fast. And these plants cost me pennies. I bought a bag of Eddoes from the grocery store, and now I have 15 plants and more to come. Now, if you notice this little tuber here, there are 3 little kind of growth points on it, and there's nothing really coming off the top. Now I just gently remove this little part, and you'll see how many roots are attached to it there. And that's a whole nother plant. So I'm just going to pot this up, and that's a whole nother plant. Those roots were pretty strong. And same with this other little piece. You just gently pry it off, and that's another plant that you have. And the main tuber can still provide more plants. Now, for me personally, I just plant these for decorative purposes. But I mean, in the fall, you can harvest these and you can eat these. I think I'll wrap it up here. I'll be sure to keep you posted on how these plants are doing. And I hope you consider going to the grocery store, buying a bag of Eddoes, and getting your own plants started and see how you do. And you could even, like I said, harvest in the fall. Well, have a great day, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.